Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. All right, let's film a video. Was there any bigger news in the world of Star Trek than the announcement this past week that our beloved series license is returning to Playmates Toys? No, not at all, no. It's your favorite former twink Ace. Good to see you all here again. Let's just get this out of the way. Please head on down below, give the channel a subscribe, give this video a thumbs up. Love to see some of that algorithm traction take hold, wouldn't you? I know I would. If you're of a certain age, like I am, you know that Star Trek and Playmates go hand in hand like Ninja Turtles and Playmates. The most comprehensive action figure and toy accessory line that Star Trek will ever see came between this glorious union of the two between 1992 and 1999. If you'd like a little bit more information on that, click up above for my last video where I talked in depth a little bit more about this. On July 13th, the announcement was made that Playmates was receiving the Star Trek license to make new toys, new vehicles, new play sets. Naturally, I was over the moon. What information we got was a little vague and somewhat scarce, but what we received as fans was a fairly clear roadmap as to what we can expect in 2022. What can we look forward to? Well, according to the press release, Playmates will launch its new Star Trek toy line in 2022, following Star Trek's entry into kids' content with the premiere of Star Trek Prodigy, the first Star Trek series aimed at younger audiences. Fans can look forward to a new lineup of action figures and accessories from Star Trek Discovery, Star Trek Lower Decks, Star Trek Picard, other Star Trek series throughout the universe coming soon, and future selections from the expansive Star Trek universe of series and motion pictures. That's a lot we can look forward to. Starting with Star Trek Prodigy makes the most sense. Since the 1980s, having a toy line and an accompanying cartoon just goes hand in hand. When you're competing for shelf space in Target and Walmart, and how sad is it that they're the two biggest toy retailers right now? Having a new show airing several times a week on a popular children's network is exactly what you need to push a toy line. Also, Prodigy acts as that bridge between the younger audience that can watch the show, grow up, and move into the more live-action-oriented versions of Star Trek. From the start, I've felt that Prodigy is the shot in the arm that Star Trek needs more than anything else. Look, do I feel a little sick talking about indoctrinating children into brand loyalty? Yes. Did it happen to me, most Gen Xers, and every generation after the fact? Yes. Do I have a point to this line of questioning? The other highlight in this press release is acknowledging that Playmates will be tackling the other four Discovery, Picard, Lower Decks, Strange New... Four new shows on top of Prodigy. So do you know what that means? Give me that Michael Burnham action figure ASAP, please, and yes, please. And the sooner we can get those new Season 4 Discovery uniforms in action figure form, sign me up, baby. Equally as promising in the press release is this line that reads, among the qualities Playmates will bring to the Star Trek universe are its attention to brand detail, authentic portrait sculpting, and new product innovations it plans to introduce to its forthcoming Star Trek collections. That line stuck out to me because they refer to sculpting. When you look at what Hasbro's doing with its Marvel Legends and Star Wars lines, you're seeing less reliance on sculpting and more of a reliance on using 3D imaging to nail an actor's likeness. Do we know that Playmates will be using sculpting over 3D modeling? No. But things just keep getting more interesting. Varnish Studios, the crew behind sculpting all of the figures that Playmates made throughout the 1990s, Ninja Turtles, Star Trek, Toxic Crusaders, they announced on their Instagram stories the day after this press release that they were the crew handling producing the toys. I'm not saying that I'm immune to that nostalgia high, but I'm not saying that I'm not immune to that nostalgia high. I mean, just look at all the figures I have lying around on my desk. The biggest question for the Discovery, Picard, and all the other series toys is, what exactly are these figures going to mimic? Because my biggest fear going forward is that first time Playmates got the Star Trek license back that we all kind of just collectively agreed to forget about. The non-Varner figures. The 2009 Kelvin Timeline toys. When J.J. Abrams got the consolation prize of directing the 2009 Star Trek movie, it just made sense if there was going to be a line of action figures to go along with it. Star Trek had just wrapped up their fairly well-received time over at Art Asylum or Diamond Select Toys. With a new era of Star Trek coming, it just made sense to have a new toy line ready to go. It's just that that toy line was... It was... While I will say that the face sculpts for each figure fairly resembled their actor's corresponding likeness, that's probably the extent to positivity that I can really lay out for that series. Sorry. Having a simultaneous 12-inch, 6-inch, and 3 3/4-inch line of figures just felt like such a wide net to cast from the jump. No one wave of any of the 3 sizes contained a complete version of the Enterprise bridge crew in uniform. The bodies that were used were clearly recast among 2, maybe 3 different molds. As for the proportions, it's small heads with long arms sitting on top of wide bodies. I'm sorry if you like them, but those 2009 figures give that torn uniform, barrel-chested Will Riker figure a complete run for its money as the worst. The biggest point you can make looking back on that toy line was they were released in 2009. Hasbro had yet to develop and release the Star Wars Black Series, which basically reignited the toy industry and set the standard for everything you see today. I mean, it's the standard because Hasbro also owns just about every goddamn toy license out there, but that's besides the point. For Star Trek and Playmates going forward, I see basically one of 2 options being the outcome. Will Playmates make the push into the 6-inch figure market? Imagine a fully articulated Star Trek toy line that could seamlessly pair with Hasbro's G.I. Joe or Power Rangers or Marvel Legends figures. Oh, imagine a full-to-scale Commander Worf that you could pose next to fighting Boba Fett? Or a Kirk figure that you could pair with Spider-Man and Diva and have them all fight a horde of stormtroopers? Or a Will Riker figure that we can pose mid-maneuver as he's throwing his leg over top of a chair to sit down. So the fully articulated 6-inch line is one choice. The alternate choice is that Playmates jumps into the red-hot retro figure market. Ever since Super 7 started killing it with their Kenner-esque reaction figure line, what's old is absolutely new again. So what if we see a return to the 4 3/4 action figure line, a line that blends seamlessly with Playmates 1990s figures. Could we get a Tilly figure that matches with a 90s Data figure? New figures that fit in perfectly with existing vehicles and existing playsets? What if? What if they complete the missing pieces? If I had to speculate, which is YouTuber speak for guessing, I would say that Playmates is going to go the line of recreating their 1990 figures. If Varnish Studio wasn't involved, I'd be much more inclined to go with 6 inches. But Playmates going back to Star Trek with Varner, it just feels like they're trying to recapture that magic. As for a post-Prodigy launch, I don't see this series being contained just to one show. Regardless of the figure sizes, I would expect a wide range of characters to be in this first wave. Michael and Picard are givens, in my opinion. Saru and Miraverse Philippa Georgiou as well. Lower Decks, I actually believe would benefit from having its own line, but if it does get included in this first wave, Beckett Mariner. I mean, right? Since we're looking at a 2022 launch, Strange New Worlds will be out by then. Captain Pike, Spock, #1. If you're gonna start, come out with the heavy hitters. And it's not just action figures that we're limited to. As the press release say, they're talking about vehicles. Why not expect something like a Discovery model that has sound effects and LED lights? Same thing with the La Sirena from Picard. Comm badges, phasers, tricorders, they all existed previously with Playmates line. I can't see them not trying to get back into that. I know it's early on and we haven't seen any concept art of what these figures are going to look like, but man, what if we get back into that renaissance that we had in the 1990s with modern day Star Trek action figures? I'm always extremely excited for what the future holds for Star Trek, but for 2022, aside from the fact that that's probably when I'll be comfortable to actually go outside and do things again, I gotta say I can't wait for it to get here. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate you all coming out here today. It's wonderful to see all your smiling faces. Let me know what you think about what's going to happen for the future of Star Trek and Playmates. Comment down below with the figures that you'd like to see. Or hit me up with your Playmates wish list on Twitter at formertwink. I'm already on there talking about gay shit and Star Trek all the time. Let's have a conversation about it. I've been your favorite former twink. Live long and prosper.